iNews, Thursday, 18th of August 2022, page 9, article by Rob Hastings regarding consumers. The title of the article is Tricks of the Trade Pushing Cost of Some Groceries to Levels Far Above Inflation. And as you can see below, here is a deeper analysis of the increase of prices in percentages, which I will break down and read. Food price rises. The product is listed here, and here is a percentage increase. Biggest annual price rise. Baked beans, on label, 420g. Morrison's was 30p, now 45p. As explained here, that's a plus 50% increase. Here, there's the product. That's the actual amount. And here is the increase in percentages. As you can see, as we go down, we refer to different companies and different products, and the percentage increase as well. Next, chicken thighs, on label, skin on, 1 kg. Sainsbury's was £1.65, now £2.60. That is an increase of plus 58%. That's the increase there. Next, Hovis loaf, soft, white, thick, 800g. Tesco was 99p, now it's £1.20. The increase is plus 21% here. Next, let's look at milk. On label, whole, 1.136 mil. Morrison's was 80p, now £1.25. That's an increase of plus 56%. Next, oven chips. On label, straight cut, 1.5 kg. Morrison's was 85p, now £1.49. That's an increase of plus 75%, as shown here. Next, penne pasta, on label, 500g. Asda was 50%, now 80%. That's a plus 60% increase. Now, the source of all this information here is source, the Grocer 33 Mystery Shopping Survey, conducting in association with Associate Price Accurate as of 1/8 August 2022. It will be this year. Now I'm going to proceed and look at further comments that were made in this newspaper article. I'll highlight the main key issues. Food prices. Prices of some foods products have risen by as much as 80% on supermarket shelves in the space of a single year. A bag of penne pasta priced 50p in Asda has shot up to 80p. Oven chips have soared from 85p to £1.49 in Morrison, and a cucumber at Tesco has been hiked, I repeat the word hiked, from 43 pence to 59 pence. One of the biggest rises is a pack of Mr. Kipling's almond slices in the Sainsbury's, up from £1 a year ago to £1.80. That's an increase there. The vastly increased expense of food and non-alcoholic drinks was the biggest contribution to month-on-month inflation in office for national statistics figures released yesterday. Annual figures comparing data from last month to July. Let's increase the size here. 2021 to make sure we get the accurate year. Showed prices rising, or price rises in the sector have reached 12.7%. But retailers have pushed up the prices of many products several times faster than that. I'm going to repeat this paragraph here. But retailers have pushed up the prices of many products several times faster than that. And what I've said there is a direct quote from here. To continue, research carried out this month by the retail analysis firm Associate from the Grocers 33, a mystery shopper survey showed that chicken thighs now cost 58% more at Sainsbury's than they did a year ago. For example, a 2-pint carton of milk at Morrison has gone up 58%, and its own label baked beans are now 50% more expensive. The price of the White Harvest loaf rose fastest year on year at Tesco, up by 21%, while a jar of Nescafe instant coffee at Asda will cost consumers 50% more than in August 2021. That's a direct quote from here. Another supermarket tactic that distinguishes rises, she said, is that sometimes a product will go on promotion at a lower price for a short time, but when they come off promotion, the retailer might bring them back at a slightly higher price, so-called shrinkflation. So this method is called, according to this article, shrinkflation. Shrinkflation has also been common with products including Maltesers, share bags and Twix, multi-packs reducing in size but staying at the same price. Given that less wealthy people typically spend greater proportions of their incomes on food and drink, this kind of behaviour by suppliers and supermarkets can be dangerous. That's exactly what's written here. I have underlined the word dangerous, and I'll continue reading the article. Dangerous for people who are struggling with money and are trying to budget, said Mrs. Leonard Bedwell. It's hard to keep track unless you know all of those prices off by heart. How is a consumer supposed to know all the prices off by heart? That is my personal commentary on this. Continued with what the article says now. Brands and supermarkets aren't exactly going to shout about putting their prices high. Quote, unquote. My personal comment on this is, if a supermarket is willing to take your money and there is a cost of living crisis going on, then when the prices increase, they should have an honest policy in terms of make you aware that the prices are going to increase. If they have the capacity to put sales signs up for marketing, they should make the consumer aware our prices are going up by this percentage by this date, so people are aware. But that doesn't happen. It's based on own observation, shopping around, and through your own natural intelligence realizing, oh, this has gone up by this much, or by the media keeping you well informed and having an honest approach and doing their own individual research, a consumer realize that the prices have actually gone up. Otherwise, this budget management is becoming more difficult than people realize, in my own opinion. A person budgets for X amount, then you have a surplus amount for overcosts or extra overheads or an increase in price. But the percentage at which these prices are increasing, the monetary responsibility per family head, per household, is increasing at a level that is not in comparison to the wages. That is my personal opinion. Inflation is affecting every household in the UK. So everything does have an effect on everything else in the economy. And when the economy is affected, the consumer is affected. Inflation is something that everyone should understand how it works and how it affects you in terms of spending and all the other related factors. That's the reason why I'm doing this article, trying to explain a few things. So it's not something that a person is not aware of. It's something you may become familiar with. All the major supermarkets argue that they are doing everything they can to keep prices as low as possible. Steep inflation on food prices, highly likely to continue well into next year. I'll just underline this bit here. Given that it is not only gone up, but it's accelerating, said Fraser McKevitt, head of retail and consumer insight into the analytics company Kantar. For those trying to make savings, it is now more worthwhile than ever for consumers to shop around for the best prices whilst they are increasing by different amounts in different stores week by week. My personal opinion is that if the prices are increasing week by week, then the consumer has to be aware that then prices are going to be raised and are going to increase. Therefore, observation is key in this market of consumerism and shopping. If you're a consumer, it's not just about going and buying something. Shop around, get the best value of the product, see what's cheaper for you to buy or what's more cost effective or reasonable within your budget. After all, it's your budget, it's your finances, and you're the person who has to run your household. So there's a lot of responsibility on the consumer to find the correct product at the right price that is suitable for their household and their consuming, what product they are consuming. Back to the article now. Another point, my own personal opinion, is no consumer, it's very rare that a consumer will know the prices off by heart. You may know some prices off by heart. Even I would know a few prices of certain products generally. However, if they are changing week by week, it makes it difficult, in my opinion, to know what the prices are. If, let's look back at this quote, that for those trying to make savings, it is now more worthwhile than ever for consumers to shop around for the best prices while they are increasing by different amounts in different stores week by week. So different stores and different amounts week by week. There's 3 different factors you have to take into consideration. Now, to close the article, the final paragraph says, data suggests that many people are doing this successfully, said Mr. McKevitt, but he warned that those on the lowest incomes are most vulnerable to food inflation because they have fewer potential changes available to them. I absolutely agree with that end paragraph, which is here. I'm just going to re-quote that again. But he warned that those on the lowest incomes are most vulnerable to food inflation because they have fewer potential changes available to them. That's the end of this article. But if I go back to the main heading, I just want to mention the main heading again to close this newspaper article here. The main heading of this article was based on consumers, and it read as follows: tricks of the trade pushing cost of some groceries to levels far above inflation. Now, this is my personal opinion, that if something is being pushed far above inflation, then there should be a ombuds or a consumer body that regulates the prices and the amount that consumers are being charged as well in the different stores, different supermarkets. That's just my personal opinion, because the consumer matters. No matter what, the consumer does matter. Even if you're low income, you are a consumer. And finally, I'm just going to zoom into the diagram just to end this article. And this was an actual diagram in which the food prices were broken down. This article was by iNewspaper, iNews, Thursday 18th of August 2022, on page 9. And the source of this information in this diagram was here. Source: Grocer 33 Mystery Shopping Survey conducted in association with Associa. Prices accurate as of 1/8 August 2022. And like if this article has stated that the prices are changing on a weekly basis, then that's for the consumers to be observant and see what the other prices are at the moment. This article was in August 2022. Inflation is affecting everybody because everybody needs to do shopping, everybody needs food on their table, and everybody needs to feed their family. So not only is it a responsibility on the government, it is a responsibility on the consumer to shop wisely.